Will we see a new bloodline? Are we going to see a new tribal chief? It's Forbidden Door weekend. Let's talk about it.
Wait! I can't believe it! Yes! Yes! The Rock is going to WrestleMania! Randy in position for another curb stop. Oh, my God! Oh, my unbelievable counter! Oh, my God! Unbelievable!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of In This Very Ring. Right here live on A2D Radio. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I am Ritz. And joining me as he does each and every Friday night, the mayor of Toasty Town, this is Butters! And he turns his camera off. What are you doing over there? Speak words.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Because you're cutting out. Sorry, sir. For some reason, I am
now?
either...
Right, hold on.
I can barely hear you. You're cutting in and out.
Switch audio.
No, I think it's the internet. Hold on.
All right, can you hear me? Butters, can you hear me?
I could hear you, but it's hard to hear you, sir. Hello?
I can hear you fine.
Hold on.
Mayor of Toasty Town needs better Wi-Fi. Exactly. You know what's funny? This all started like just once upon a time. I was doing random little things in the beginning, and I was coming up with something. And I was like, you know what? I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, because it was a shot at Chrome, and it just kind of stuck. All right, so you back? You good? Like,
can you hear me?
I can hear you. We're coming through fine.
Because you're cutting in and out on me pretty hard.
Everybody says I'm coming through fine. You sure it's just not your system?
Fuck.
So while you do that, I'm going to thank our sponsor.
I'm trying to figure out. Do what?
I'm going to thank sponsor. We'll deal with him in a little bit. We're going to thank Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pie, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. We thank them for sponsoring this and every episode of In This Very Ring. All right. While he gets his stuff figured out, God knows what's going on over there. We're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about SmackDown tonight. We're going to start out with the Bloodline ceremony. Actually, I'm switching back to the other thing then, if he's going to have that problem. Because this just ruins the shot. All right. So, we're going to get to the Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony, the way SmackDown ended tonight, because it actually does bring up our poll question for the evening. Jacob Fatu will usurp Solo Sikoa as the tribal chief. Agree or disagree? The comments are already starting to fly in. So let's get right into some of them. Todd Womack, Jacob Fatu is going to be a monster. He's already positioned himself as a monster. They've done a great job. The Samoan Werewolf. It's a fantastic little moniker that he has, and it fits with his gear and everything. So let's get Butters back in here, see if this works. How we doing?
I'm on my phone. It's a whole lot better, but not for you.
What do you mean not for me?
No, I mean, or not for the camera, should I say?
Fair enough. We'll make it work, though. We'll make it work.
Yep.
All right, so let's get back into it. Jacob Fatu will usurp Solo Sikoa as a tribal chief. We already had Todd Womack chime in, and Jacob Fatu is going to be a monster. Dynasty, Jacob Fatu will outshine Solo, but disagree to the poll with him becoming tribal chief. We're going to get some more of them, but what do you think? This is a brainchild of you and Pete.
Yes, yeah. That is true. I think he will. I think Jacob Fatu, to the comments in the section that he's going to outshine Solo to the point where Jacob's going to just push over Solo and be like, "I'm the new tribal chief now. You aren't good enough. I'm the better of the two. Let's I'm the tribal chief. Done." But I do agree to the poll saying he's going to usurp Solo at some point. Solo's going to lose enough to the point where Jacob's had enough. And he's going to have the other two. He's going to have the other two on his side, ready to rock and roll and kick Solo out.
Man, I don't know. I there's a part of me that agrees to this poll just because what track record has shown with the bloodline in the sense of the enforcer becoming that new tribal chief, kind of taking the helm of the sitting himself at the head of the table, no pun intended.
Yes.
Right. But then I think about it, and I don't think they're gonna go with Jacob in this moment. I don't think you do that here. Right? I think you keep Solo where he's at. You're gonna have Roman come back. We've got it here. The pop Roman's gonna get when he returns.
Especially after tonight. Ooh, he's gonna come back with a vengeance.
When do we get Roman back? That's another great question as well.
I'd say, at least to answer that, I would say it has to be after Money in the Bank.
Well, I think you get it at SummerSlam. SummerSlam's always been his show.
Mm-hmm.
Show where he's done all his returns and everything like that. SJM, what's up, fam? SmackDown was solid, but I'm heavily invested in Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. So, of course, I want to see more of them. And we're going to talk about them later on in the show. But here it is right here. Old Bloodline versus New Bloodline. Chrome had talked about it a few weeks ago, and I think it was even when he was on last week as well when we mentioned it. I know it's definitely in our chat. You're going to get this almost like Hollywood Bloodline versus, black and white Bloodline. Very NWO-esque. You're going to get the two sides of this faction going to
Hollywood
war.
versus Wolfpack.
Yeah. And ultimately either one, they're going to combine forces and be unstoppable, or two, it's how you're going to see somebody like Roman almost ride off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I think we're there by any means. Wrong way. Right? But I definitely do think that it's coming. Right? Roman's done all he can do there.
Yeah.
SummerSlam, the question is, does Solo get the belt or not? No.
Oh,
Not
God,
yet.
no.
Not yet.
He will have a title match most likely, but he will not sniff that belt.
New Bloodline turns on Solo. It'll be Rock's Bloodline versus Roman's Bloodline. I hope the Rock's Bloodline wins. That's another great idea as well. I don't think they'll turn on Solo necessarily.
No.
I think we see them, the Rock kind of being the one pulling the strings, right? When it comes to that. I'm gonna disagree to the poll. I'm gonna heavily disagree to the poll. I think Jacob Fatu is the star that comes out of this. Solo's getting exposed right now.
Mm-hmm.
He was positioned as he's only getting booed out of the arena. He's only getting that Dominic nuclear heat because people just don't want to see him in that role.
No.
Right? They don't want to see him sitting at the head of the table. It almost doesn't make sense why he's sitting at the head of the table. Right? You can call back to when Roman said Solo will be the next head of the table. But does that mean right now automatically he becomes the head of the table?
Right.
Right? There are a lot of variables in there. And that's why I think when Roman comes back, we're not going to see Roman and Solo on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're going to see them at odds. And I think there may be that little, in the beginning, they may be okay. but it will not last long.
No.
And that will set up for War Games.
Yeah, I love me some War Games.
All right, Dusty.
Leave me alone.
No.
Been a long week.
Oh, poor baby.
Excuse
All
you,
right.
sir?
You heard what I said. Deal with it. Get over it.
Well, maybe drop you with an elbow.
All right, so
Slap you with my new Money in the Bank.
The Rock with those Elvis Presley pants pulling the string. Jesus. I also wonder, will Jimmy and Jay have any influence on if a Bloodline versus Bloodline happens? And I think they do. You can't do you can't have Roman's side of things without that.
Yeah.
Right?
I think all that starts at Money in the Bank when you have everybody together.
Agreed. Agreed. And you'll see it. You might see like Jimmy come back at Money in the Bank. Right? Maybe Jay getting involved, depending on where the Money in the Bank ladder match falls in correlation to that 6-man tag match that we're going to have next week.
Yeah.
Them attacking Paul works out really well, though, because now Paul's going to position himself to bring in Roman, bring in Jimmy, bring in Jay, bring in his bloodline.
Yeah.
Right? To attack Solo. And then we're, and Tonga and Tonga and Tongaloa.
Lolo.
What's up, Don? What's up, Womack? I know Womack's
Don.
shout out earlier here. Philly Dilly, there it is.
Billy Dilly Todd.
Am I missing any off topic? But I got a feeling that Priest will lose World Heavyweight Championship. Next week, we're going to talk all about Money in the Bank. It'll be our preview show.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
Stop it. Stop it. We'll dive into it then. Yeah, that spot at the end with Paul, that looked rough, and I don't know. I don't know if that's on Paul. I don't know if it's on Tongaloa and Tamatonga.
It looked on the pickup. It looked scary right there.
Yeah, like they didn't. Maybe they misjudged how heavy Paul was, or how
I think they misjudged the pickup in general.
Yeah, like what is it an overall thing?
Because they didn't get enough height up there.
Correct. So I did think they were going to botch it. I did not expect, and we were talking about it before we came on the air. I did not expect that segment to go the way that it went.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like,
yep.
You had Paul take 2 massive bumps, and you had nobody come out. Right?
I mean, I understand Cody and them not coming out because they just got escorted out by the police early in the night. But I was kind of thinking, this would have been a point as you're beating down Paul and about to drop him into the table, Roman comes out.
And maybe not Roman, maybe Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy works too.
Jimmy, really the only one you could have come out. I honestly thought at one point, though, Jacob was going to turn.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That would have been kind of crazy in a sense, right? For him to turn. I don't know. I would really like to see Solo. I hate that Solo's in this role, though. Because I would have loved to see Solo and the Usos teaming up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As like the true bloodline. And then everybody else on the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
I disagree to the poll too. Solo getting that dirty Dom heat, as any of us know, fan reaction, whether good or bad, is the aim. So I think they ride the wave. Agreed. I think you absolutely ride this wave. You just have to be careful with it. And I think we've said that from the onset when taking Roman out of the bloodline story and how they've kind of positioned this more as like a mob.
Yeah.
like the Mafia, you have to really be careful how you position yourself. Todd Womack, I thought despite then Jimmy's music, but correct. And you know what? Don has a good point. Sika passed away earlier this week.
Yep.
And our thoughts, our prayers are with Roman and his family. That was Roman's father. So there's a very good chance that might have been on the table, but with Sika's passing, it was pulled off the table pretty quickly.
No. Yeah, no. You regardless of who you are, even if Roman would have still wanted to go through with it, you tell him to sit at home, regardless. That's just, that's his dad. That's he needs time.
Yeah. So, and we saw that the same thing with Monday night, right? Monday night, they were, and we'll get into the Wyatt 6 promo later on in the show, but Monday night you saw things were designed to have Pat McAfee at ringside. And unfortunately, Pat McAfee lost his father-in-law. If you missed the news, he announced it Tuesday about mid-show on the Pat McAfee show. As the Monday episode ended, he got word that he had to go to the hospital. His father-in-law was not doing well, and that is why he missed Monday Night Raw. So our thoughts and prayers also go out to the McAfee family at this time. But they still kept on with what they had planned. Like, truly was the show must go on.
Yep.
And you saw that then, and there's a part of me that says that was kind of what tonight was. But also, you want to wait for Roman. Don't get me wrong, MSG is a big arena. It is an arena where you want to do something, shocking and makes everybody say, because they don't do MSG much anymore.
No.
For televised shows. It's more house shows.
Because now in this day and age, that is too small of an arena. I hate to say it, but in this day and age with the arenas we have now, that's too small of an arena for, a major show.
Well, it's not even that it's too small. It's set up weird. Because if you go back to even like WrestleMania 20, right? You didn't have the long ramp.
Mm-hmm.
You had them coming out those doors a la the Royal Rumble that year that was in there. Right? Where it's kind of facing the stage. The ring. So little bits and pieces there, right? That make MSG something that's not great for TV now. Right? SJM says, low-key, I'm proud of my guy and legend Paul Heyman. That's a hell of a bump to take. He's going to feel that as he sits. Ritz, do you think The Rock is controlling Solo behind the scenes? Don, that's a great question. I do. There's a part of me that does. There's a part of me.
I think Solo's doing this on his own. I don't think anybody's controlling him.
There's a part of me that says he's doing it on his own. But then you think about the way they position the final boss and how vicious and violent and aggressive The Rock was on this most recent run. I could very well see and Roman losing the title and The Rock never being they did a great job with The Rock being positioned as not somebody who reports to Roman, but almost like a Roman equal because he isn't a quote unquote elder of the family.
Yep.
Right. So they had him positioned. They positioned him really well. It leaves you that little doubt. So I could see it to where he's controlling Solo behind the scenes, or at least he's, he's a big influence on Sikoa.
Oh, big time.
Triple H did say his
influence
concerning Raw and SmackDown were minimal compared to the past. It helps with venues like MSG, and correct. That's why I think we're going to start seeing MSG being done more. It's just in the past it didn't work. Yeah, I don't know. I think we have a lot to go with the Bloodline story. I think that we finally, and I always say, give me the next chapter. Give me the next piece of the puzzle. And we got that last week with Jacob Fatu. We saw the progression this week with kicking out Paul. You're setting us up to start building towards that Survivor Series match that everybody's clamoring for.
Yes.
Don says, the question is, does Solo have that much pull on bringing the new Bloodline? I'm not sure I understand the question. But think about that for a second. Or try to clarify. Todd goes, if it's Rock Roman at Mania, then you know the timeline for The Rock to come back. I don't think that's happening anymore. I don't think we're getting Rock Roman. I don't think you need to do Rock Roman.
I mean, you could if with this Bloodline versus Bloodline, you have The Rock come back. What the hell are you doing with my Bloodline?
Possible.
But again, you could also still go the route of Cody versus Rock.
Yeah. It's the boss. The godfather of HUD Radio. Our friend and yours, Mr. Tom Arnone, chiming in. What's up, Tom?
Hi, Tom. Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Where is it? No, that's not it. There it is. The irony of a guy named Solo needing all the help.
That's a good one.
Like bringing in Jacob Fatu and the rest of his own guys. Okay, I see where he's going. So, the first part of this question was, the question is, does Solo have that much pull on bringing the new Bloodline, like bringing in Jacob Fatu and the rest of his guys on his own?
Mm-hmm.
I think he does because he had a dominant run. He's on the main rosters. He was a high-profile person, right? Say what you will, right? But he also has the rub from The Rock from Roman. And then let's go back to where is it? Go back to this right here. Let's just say The Rock is the one controlling Solo. Solo's not the one bringing these guys in. He may tell The Rock, hey, go get that guy. Hey, go get that guy. We can control that guy. Go get him, bring him in.
Yeah.
Right? So it's utilizing The Rock's name to build his bloodline. Tighten up, boys. Boss is watching. Hey. He loves us. Todd showing Tom some love. And then SJM. Tom just slipped into gorilla position behind the curtain. Now that's when I get scared. When the boss shows up at gorilla, I might get a little scared. Because you don't know what's gonna come out of the man's mouth.
Right?
Don, great take. Thank you. It's a great question though. You set that up. You built us up to that conversation, Don. So I thank you, and I thank you for the insight. And guys, keep the insight coming all night long. We've got a lot of good stuff to talk about. If you're not already, make sure you guys are hitting that like, hitting that subscribe over there on Facebook, over there on Twitter, wherever you are watching it on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share us with your friends. Let people know we are on and we are ready to have some fun tonight.
Whoop, whoop. Fun.
Probably against my better judgment.
Uh-oh.
There's nothing else about Solo and the Bloodline. We're going to move on to Forbidden Door. Again, against my better judgment.
The Forbidden Door!
I'm looking at the match card right now. There are 13 matches on this card. 3 of them on the pre-show. I wish they could get away from this.
It's about 5 to 7 matches too many.
Yes, and I'm not going to go over every match. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do it.
Well, no, I even stated in our description for the day, we're going to go over what we thought was the better of the matches, not all the matches, because again, there's too many matches.
And there's too many I don't care about.
Correct.
Right? That's also important to note. I just don't give a damn about some of these matches. I barely give a damn about AEW. I give a damn less about some of these matches with New Japan stars that I don't even know who they are.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Uh-oh, what happened?
I'm reading some of these matches and it makes me so infuriating. I want to end with Swerve and Will Osprey. I want to end with that.
Okay.
I guess Toni Storm versus Mina
Shirakawa.
Yeah, Shirakawa. With Mariah May at ringside in support of both participants. Woo! Stupid shit.
I mean, if you've been somewhat following along.
Okay, no.
She's in love with both of them.
Which is why I repeat, no.
One's abusive, the other one just likes to get her drunk.
I hate it here.
It's just how the storyline's going. I'm being dead serious.
I know. It's why I hate it here.
This is one of those ones where I feel like the ending of this match is going to matter. Mariah May is going to be the ending of this match.
Oh, absolutely. And this is one of those, it's written on the wall.
You put these two together, and then, you've got this Mariah May factor in both of these characters of Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. It just...
I hope y'all know those comments aren't going up on the screen. None of them.
I can't see them, so...
None of these comments are going up on this screen right now. Y'all back in the car. Y'all get back in the car. We're not doing this tonight.
Boy, it's Royal Rumble all over again. But this is a match where I kind of feel like Timeless Toni Storm is going to retain it again. I don't see her losing her title until All In, All Out, whatever you want to call it, London.
I don't see her losing it to Mina. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe she does. Maybe it's time. I don't see Mina as the person that you drop it to. The AEW TNT Championship is the vacant one is being decided in a ladder match. Takeshita versus Mark Briscoe versus Jack Perry versus Dante Martin versus Lio Rush versus El Phantasmo. Mark Briscoe. There's my pick.
Jack Perry said it all.
Stupid.
The Elite are going to take all of the belts.
He should not be in the Elite. No, absolutely not. You are not taking some Jurassic Park Great Value cosplayer and saying, oh, you know what? We're going to slap a suit on him and say he's part of the Elite.
He's not wearing a suit. He's wearing leather. He's the bad boy of the Elite. He went from wearing a loincloth being a good guy to wearing leather being a bad guy.
It's so infuriating. Like the whole Elite thing, right? You want to have Okada with the Elite? Fine. There's history there with Omega. Fine. Right? But to bring in Jack Perry and put him with Nick and Matthew and then try to sell that to me along with Okada, it looks like the worst bag of trail mix you could ever find.
You sell it on the fact that the Elite brought him in because not Toni Storm, they hate Tony Khan, and he suspended Jack Perry, so what better way to get back at him than bring him back in?
but it's not scary, right? Like Todd Womack.
I get that.
He does nothing. Oh, you brought back Toothpick Boy? This stir has more definition than Jack Perry does.
And that's saying a lot with your background.
I know, my point.
It blindy. But I feel like Jack Perry's taking this one. The Elite's going to help him some way, somehow. And he is taking that belt.
I can see them putting it on Jack just to piss me off a little bit more this week. I think it will be a really good match. I do think this has potential.
Yes.
To kind of steal the show here when you look at everybody involved. And that is the one thing I will say. While there are a lot of matches on the card, I know the wrestling's going to be good. I may not know all the players because I'm not very familiar with New Japan, but I know that the wrestling will be good. And so that's
big time.
Me that's excited. There's a part of me that's excited.
You know, to your point, we're going to have some really good wrestling on this pay-per-view throughout the entire pay-per-view. I don't think, looking at this card, that there's really going to be a match that's going to, take away.
Hold on. I'm getting called out in this chat. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
So, Mark Lynch said that's a storm y'all want to be caught up in chat. Referring to the chaos that was the earlier comments. The Knucklehead says Ritz is used to it. It's Butters that lets us loose.
What?
Well, because you'll read some of their comments from time to time, and I won't put up the comments.
Oh, well,
then Sparky over here says Mayor of Toasty Town letting the people speak. I let you speak. The problem is I'm not about to get pulled off the air because some of you say some really out-of-pocket shit.
I has big freedom of speech in my town.
Oh, shit. We're busted. We got caught. Let's talk WWE. I have no idea who these people are. Give me a few minutes. There's just a few more matches I want to go over, and then we're going to talk about the Wyatt Six. Bear with us just a few minutes. Like the match MJF is in. I don't even know who this schmo is.
I don't either.
No. And then Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy. That'll actually be a good match. I will say that'll be good.
Yep.
Jon Moxley versus Naito. I don't care.
No, that will probably tear the house down.
But I'm so over Jon Moxley.
Okay.
Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie McQuarrie. Winner takes all for both titles. I think Mercedes takes it.
Oh, she's taking it. No way, no chance in hell she is losing the TBS title to Stephanie McQuarrie.
And JF versus from some guy from Buffalo.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Is the guy actually from Buffalo? Hold up.
Oh, I have no idea. It just makes sense that he's from the middle of nowhere.
Oh, man. Oh, it doesnn't say.
This guy looks like a fucking goofball.
And then Swerve versus Will Osprey. I don't think this is the time to take the title off of Swerve and put it on Osprey.
No.
Because especially with Osprey holding the other title, the international title.
I mean, you could have him be a dual champion.
But if you're gonna make Mercedes a dual champion, you're not gonna have two in the same night.
Yeah, you will.
No, you won't.
It's Tony Khan.
He'll get cooked the next morning. Everybody in their fifth grandmother is going to tell this man no.
I mean, next week he's got a title match against Daniel Garcia where he's putting up, his international title, and if he wins the AEW title, that's going up on the line too.
Yeah, that's smart. Sure.
So, I mean, you have him win both titles, he puts both on the line, and, easy retention. He's going to retain at that point.
Which means it's all fucking pointless.
Welcome to AEW, folks.
Where everything's made up and the points don't matter. Thank you. Who's whining anyway?
Sure hell ain't Tony's.
No shit. All right. There's my AEW segment for the week. Y'all can have it. We're going to move on. Let's talk to Wyatt 6.
More like for the month.
Shut up. Oh, look. It's Chucks. What's up, Chucks?
Chucky!
Chucky. The chaos we can cause with that. Oh my god, we could put Chuck's head on the Chucky Finster Rugrat. I know what I'm doing this weekend.
I mean, he's probably small enough, right?
Oh damn. Oh damn. Oh no. Butters is just over here taking shots at everybody. Nobody's safe.
Not in my town, baby. Bang bang.
Relax. Bo Dallas did a phenomenal job.
Yes.
But again, and I alluded to it earlier, the segment, the Nikki Cross portion of it, what in God's name are you playing with?
I really wasn't realizing I was fidgeting with it. It's one of my clamps to my green screen.
Butter's taking more shots than a board he at a bar. Jeez.
I mean, I didn't go to the bar afterwards, but I mean, I probably should have.
Hey, man, I invited you out when it's all said and done. You knew where to find me that night.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, let's talk the Wyatt 6-6. The Nikki Cross portion of that, where she shows up behind Chad Gable and then gives Michael Cole the box that's meant for Pat McAfee. Even though
the VHS?
Yeah, the VHS. Even though McAfee's not there, I feel like that segment would have done better had McAfee been there, like that portion of it.
Yeah.
Now, 3-4 segments later, when they actually do show us the video, phenomenal. The conversation between Uncle Howdy and
Bo Dallas.
Well, no, that was Taylor. It wasn't Bo.
Okay.
Right? That was Taylor. And the realism that they brought from that, and they referencing how Bray passed away, and
man, that had me. I was like,
not shying away from it at all.
I was like, they did not just ask that and go there.
Yeah, that part was phenomenal. I do want to give some kudos though to Michael Cole for carrying that entire broadcast. Yes, he had the Miz for about the first hour, but he did 2 hours on live television by himself and still kept you engaged throughout the entire evening. And he was still able to be funny. He was still like the part where he's holding the VHS and he goes, well, for you kids at home, this is a VHS. I don't know how we're going to play this thing, but we'll figure it out. Pove chiming in. Hey, fellas, having lots of fun on the show tonight. What's up, Pove? I had kind of hoped we would have saw a little bit more of like them tormenting Chad Gable.
I think we'll get that in the weeks to come.
Yeah,
I think
somebody else.
I think what we're going to see is they're going to slowly torment him more and more to the point where he's going to need the Creeds, since he has now lost the Alpha Academy. He's going to need, because they teased that little bit Monday night as well.
Well, but I think that I think next week we see something along those lines, if not at Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we see kind of the Creed brothers aligning themselves with Chad Gable. I don't think we're going to see them go up against the Alpha Academy like we originally thought they would, because they're distancing the Alpha Academy from Chad, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know that if you were to put Otis, Akira, and Maxine up against Ivy and the Creed brothers,
Otis is going to have to carry that entire team.
Right.
But what
did Chad Gable do to piss them off? That was kind of that is the one thing I a little upset that we didn't get this week. They kind of teased, Nikki showing up after Chad won, everything like that. But
I feel like as if the Wyatt Six is going to cost Chad Gable the Money in the Bank.
But again, and so I'll go back. I just took it off the screen, but I'll go back to this. Why Chad?
I think it's a way. I want to say the Wyatt Six is going to be one of those groups that takes justice into their own hands, and they see Chad Gable as somebody needing kind of Batman-esque, I guess you'd say. Huh?
Needed an attitude check?
Maybe. The Wyatt Six doing like a Batman-esque thing and, taking down people like Chad Gable. I don't know. I just feel like they're going to go after him because of what he's been doing to the Alpha Academy.
I don't see, though, like a vigilante. I see them as more like, I don't know, the Purge.
And that very well could be.
Right? Where they're just going to... And he says it so eloquently in the promo Tyler does on Monday night. They were supposed to rule. They were supposed to conquer and to rule and to usher in a new era.
Yeah.
So I could very well see them doing that, a hostile takeover of Monday Night Raw. But again, I'll go back to why Chad Gable? Right? Why not Jey Uso? Now, granted, they do a great job of the digital exclusive last Monday, not this past one, but the Monday before where they debuted. They asked Jay about the Wyatt Six because he exited through the crowd, so he didn't have to deal with any of that. And he was like, hey, you want the Fireflies? You keep them. You can have them. Have them back. I don't want no smoke.
And that could be the thing is, he said, hey, it's yours. And they're like, all right, leave him alone.
Right? So I think
he gave him back what was rightfully theirs. He returned the slab. We're good.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't want the answer right away, but I do want to know why Chad Gable.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think you have to answer that question sooner than later. Right? Or do they need to answer that question?
Yeah. No, they really don't.
Why Todd Womack, Wyatt Six gets big enough to take out the Bloodline? Well, that's way too early to call. And that might be a fever dream because Bloodline's obviously the biggest faction on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Wyatt Six in just 1 week has become the biggest faction on Raw, much to the chagrin of the Judgment Day, who has their own internal drama going on. Maybe. But
maybe later on down the line.
After this Bloodline Civil War, this Bloodline intertangled feud that they have going on. Stephen Jones, Miz should have been first targeted because of Bo's connection to the B team. You want to talk about long-term storytelling. I don't want no smoke. Don Maxine controlling the Wyatt Six. Got it, dude. I know it's not real. But if somehow that was true, I don't know if I'd be able to watch wrestling anymore. That was so far out of left field where I like it hurts the brain, man.
You don't want to be that far in left field?
No. It's a far walk back. I ain't about that.
Hey, man, I did a lot of walking last week in San Antonio, so.
I do walking in one place, and that's Disney World.
Not enough walking.
56 miles in 7 days?
Meh.
You add Braun later on and someone else. I think Braun's going to stay away from this for right now. I don't think. I do think they like maybe acknowledge each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right, in a sense of maybe there's an instance where Uncle Howdy and Braun are out in the ring, and he just kind of looks, and then they look up, and like they have that moment where there's an understanding of you were who you were to Bray. You may not be a part of us, but we'll never.
Yeah.
You'll never be a target of ours. Kevin Dixon, hey fellas, long time no see. The biggest question I am curious is, do you guys think Roman and Solo are going to face each other one-on-one in the future? Possibly. I think we have to see. He's the only one he hasn't faced yet, I think, in one-on-one action. So,
yep,
he would be due for it, definitely. And I think Solo would beat him if that were to come to it.
Yeah, because Solo uses the same Roman tricks. I got a bloodline to back me up.
Yeah, I think it would be it would be a true passing of the torch at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take you guys anywhere.
Uh-oh. Wow.
I know John Cena happy he don't have to deal with the Wyatt Six. I had heard there was a interview or something with him shortly after that. Like that's why. Like I heard, maybe I'm wrong, but I think he mentioned it in an interview recently. I could be very, very wrong, but no. Overall, I thought it was so well done. I thought that it was the right way to answer to last week, right? With the debut and why, almost like a "why are you here?" kind of deal. And it was just cryptic enough to like, case in point, look at the segment of the show. Us wanting more, us asking more questions with a big question: why Chad Gable? Of all the superstars, of everybody that was there, everybody that's behind the scenes, everybody that was near the ring, Gorilla, all of that, why Chad? You had so many people to choose from there. Because Chad Gable realistically doesn't make a statement. Taking out Chad Gable doesn't make a statement.
No.
Taking out the rest of production does.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the Nexus debuted and they attacked everybody at ringside. This was just in reverse.
Yeah.
It left everybody with the same question: why? What's next? Where do we go from here? And somebody said it earlier in the show. Let me go back up towards the top here. SJM had said, so of course I want to see them more. And then Raymond had said, I think this week's both WWE shows had great endings. I think, was that it? Those were the only two about the actual shows. But they hit so well. I'm just double checking. Oh, there it is. Both WWE shows this week kicked butt. They did. They really did.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about it the last few weeks, where they're firing on all cylinders, and AEW is just sitting there kind of poking along in their little go-kart, right? While
it's a little rowboat, one row.
Yeah, right? Like WWE is just kicking butt and taking names.
Motorboating right past them, baby.
Yeah, they're lapping them. Don, there it is. Triple H is cooking.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
And it's just a testament. You get out of the man's way, we're going to get great content. And we're not sitting here week in and week out going, oh, where's this person? Oh, where's that person? They're not doing anything with this person. They're not doing anything with that person. They're highlighting and the stories are compelling enough to where you're not missing anybody.
Yep.
Right? Like AJ Styles. We're not missing AJ. Right? He loses at Clash at the Castle. We've moved on to the next bit. Nobody's missing AJ right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know they bring the scary, but do you think they do a Firefly Funhouse segment? No, I don't. I think the sole purpose for this is going to be like an Undertaker, Ministry of Darkness, kind of borderline creepy with the mind games and everything like that, kind of faction. That's what I think we're going to see from them in this era, and it works, right? Yeah. I would love if they did pieces of Uncle Howdy talking to each of the characters.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool.
Right, like Uncle Howdy talking to Eric Rowan, Uncle Howdy talking to Nikki Cross, right? Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis. I think that would be great. And then do the little overlays of the characters and why is that character, right, for the Firefly Funhouse, if you want to go this way, if that character has embodied you or possessed you or whatever you want to call it, right? Why that? Why is Nikki Cross why has Sister Abigail chosen you as her vessel? You know, I think those would be great little vignettes to do week in and week out, you know, as you're highlighting the stars within this faction. Because you almost have to pull back the mask and show who's under there. Yeah. You're gonna do it with Uncle Howdy and Taylor, I'm sorry. You gotta do it with the others. I think those would be great.
Kind of pull back the curtain on those.
Yeah, and let them be real conversations. Have that element of realness to them.
Just like you did Monday. Just keep it rolling.
Exactly. Right, and you could even do it with Nikki's. You could do it to where, you know, Uncle Howdy goes, you know, Sister Abigail, why Nikki and not, you know, Alexa Bliss? Like, really hit those questions that people ask and break that fourth wall a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's so much you can do here in such a positive way without them even having to wrestle at all. Don, what's the Wyatt Six goal? A WWE Championship? No. I think just total domination and annihilation and leveling the playing field and changing the game. I think if you put the title on Uncle Howdy at any point, we get away from that goal. We get away from that kind of what this group is about. This group is not a group that's going to hold major championships, I don't think. This is a group that's going to be a thorn in everybody's side. Because I'm just thinking about it right now. If you put the tag titles on two of them, or you put the women's title on Nikki, or you put the World Heavyweight title on Uncle Howdy, how does that chase look? That chase is going to look dumb as hell. Right? It's better when they're the one causing the drama. They're the one causing the torment. They're the ones getting inside people's heads. That's part of me would love to see it, but I don't think right now the way they position themselves, I don't see that happening. No. Silent Hill chiming in. Hey, yo, what's up, Silent Hill?
What's up?
I you know what? I'm actually glad he's here. I have a separate chat with him and Jax and we'll talk wrestling and all that. And that chat was very quiet this evening. Very quiet. And if you know Silent Hill and you've been around WrestleMania time, he was very vocal about his love for his tribal chief in the bloodline. So I wonder, Silent Hill, did you acknowledge your new tribal chief? While we wait for that, Kevin Dixon, I like this new character, Bo Dallas' Uncle Howdy. This is a really good dedication to his brother. I really like the Wyatt Six so far. I do too. We talked about it last week. I think that this was the vision that Bray Wyatt had for the Uncle Howdy character, and what eventually would have been the Wyatt Six with Bray around, because it was very heavily talked about and was rumored, and I think this is a great transition, and we talked about it last week, so check out that in the archives. Chris says, my tribal chief coming back with a vengeance. Okay, so you don't Solo as your tribal chief. All right, I respect that, because that means you were, not that you ever were, but anybody that doesn't know, you're not a bandwagon. I think anybody that automatically acknowledges Solo as their tribal chief, right, is bandwagoning this thing. They think Solo is the next best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was anybody that was a Tom Brady fan that now all of a sudden is a Patrick Mahomes fan. You're a bandwagon fan. Don, I wish we could see Bray Wyatt's face. He must be so proud. I think I think him and Brody are sitting up there with popcorn every Monday and Friday, or really every Monday right now, and just watching this all play out tremendously.
Cracking a cold one.
Yeah. Any other big takeaways from this week? I know we hit on the big point. Money in the Bank is next week, so we will be talking the men's and the women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. The Judgment Day storyline with Dominic, Liv, and Finn Balor. That's going into this next chapter with Liv being caught coming out of the Judgment Day locker room. That's really gaining some steam. They are now, Finn and JD are the new tag team champions from Monday night. They beat Awesome Truth with the help of Liv Morgan. I really like what they're doing there. I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but incorporating Finn, because I think Finn's dangerously underutilized, is really working for me, and I think he's going to be able to play this off really, really well with everything. I just don't know what the end payoff is.
Maybe Finn is world champion?
Very possibly. Womack said NXT is cooking too. Agreed. Very excited for Heat Wave next week. We're going to talk about that as well. We'll do a Money in the Bank and Heat Wave preview show. There's a small part of me that says Trick could potentially be in danger of dropping that title.
Mm-hmm.
Trick very well could to Evans. I think Evans is a name you want to watch and a rising star in the industry. Silent Hill says leading to Finn versus Priest non-title. Well, yeah, no, maybe it'll have the title, right? Because if he retains the title, no.
Gunther is taking that title at SummerSlam.
If he beats Seth, Seth can never challenge for it again. But if Seth wins, then Priest is out of the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, maybe Finn versus Priest non-title. Okay. I mean, I'd love to see Finn have a true title run, but in order for him to do that, for me at least, he's got to go back to being a face.
Yes.
The heel Finn doesn't work for me with the way they positioned him in the Judgment Day, how he was in charge, and now seemingly it was Rhea, and now it's all of a sudden Damian. You really let him fall through the cracks on that. But we're out of time, guys. We are going to get out of here. We want to thank our sponsor, Baggio Bread. We want to thank all you guys for hanging out with us in the chat. It was a great conversation tonight. We've missed you guys. To Todd, to Silent Hill, to Don, to Lynch, to Kevin Dixon, Stephen James, the man, Chuck, Tom, Poe, everybody that was in there, SJM. Did I miss anybody? No, I think I caught everybody. Jason was in here earlier as well. Raymond, all you guys, thank you all so much for being here tonight. We will see you guys next week for Money in the Bank and Heatwave preview. Until then, tell somebody you love them. Peace, love, and joy. We are out of here.